Good evening, everybody. How are we all? We should be broadcasting live onto Purge TV, D Live, VK, and brand new Tube. So please let me know if that's the case. Let me know if you can see me. Let me know if you can hear me. My goodness, what a week. What a week. Crazy stuff. I am amazed that I am even sitting before you. I've been racing around the country like a lunatic. Lunatic, I say. But it's all good stuff. All good news. So I can see we've got some people over on Purged, which is great. Let me just give a little check over on VK. I think we should be getting some people over on there soon. I think I've probably thrown everyone by being almost on time. I hit the live button and realised that it was like 1 minute past 7, which is probably quite disconcerting for you all, given that I'm generally not much later, but a little bit. So here I am, almost on time. Timekeeping is not my thing. Well, it's just, I've just got too much to do, but everything is going great. So let's see who's in. I'm going to go over to Purged and say hello to you lovely people. Marty is in. Good evening to you, and thank you, Marty. Marty says, well done. Thank you very much. And Margaret, good evening to you, my dear. And Charles as well. Thank you very much. Briggs as well says, how you doing, you lovely people? I don't know if that includes me, Briggs, but I'm doing good. And how are you, lovely person? I hope you're well. Thank you for tuning in. And my sister in Christ, Angela. God bless you, Angela. Thank you for your messages as well. I always like speaking to Angela. Who else have we got? Mike is in. Mike R1, good evening to you. And to Iwan as well. Good evening, Iwan. I hope you're well, my dear. And Merv says, hi, Jada. I know that mischievous smile. You are registered for Wakefield. You do know that smile, Merv. Merv, you've seen it before. Typed it twice, disappeared, and came back. Don't worry. It's fine. Yes, I am indeed. I knew you'd know. You know that face. The face that's the kind of, that's the, I know I'm going to upset a lot of people face. Merv's already learnt it. Who else have we got in? Jerry's in. Good evening to you. Paying what I can to your fund. Thank you, Jerry. That's really, really kind of you. And I appreciate it. I really do. Like, I appreciate everyone's help. It's superb. And now, well, let's say hello, and then before I start ranting on, because you know me, I'm partial to just going off on a tangent. So let me say hello to everyone else. Good evening to Peter, and also to DJ Samuel. And Margaret said, did you get the 200? Margaret, I do not know. I genuinely, as I sit before you here, I have been rushing around like crazy. I am amazed that I am sitting here. The rushing around the country that I've been doing, I'm amazed that I'm even here live. So I haven't seen, but I'm assuming that's something you've pledged. But just clarify that, and if so, just let me know in the comments, because I'm guessing that's what you mean. But just you let me know. Yeah, and Charles says, thank you, Jerry. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, all of you. Excellent stuff. Really, really lovely. Who else have we got? I Hate People is over on D Live. I just love that handle. I always say to people, use your own name, but I do actually enjoy reading that handle. I don't know why. David's in. Good evening to you on VK, David Griffin and Andrew Briggs as well. Yes, so, okay. Exciting stuff. We are standing in the Wakefield by-election. What did I tell you? This is crazy. I cannot even really process what's just gone on in the last few days. Remember, I was sitting here on Wednesday and I said to you, they've called the by-election. They've called the by-election. The date is the 23rd of June. That's the date of the vote. But do you remember I said to you, these snidey little so-and-sos in government, they always do this. They set a deadline to hand in the nomination papers. Now, some of you will be familiar with the process of nomination, so if you are, forgive me, but I'm going to let those of you who aren't know how it works. Basically, every election that you stand in, by-election you stand in, that I stand in, I have to go, or anyone who stands, has to go and obtain signatures from people in the constituency to nominate you to stand. It's not a vote, but it's a democratic process. Again, goes back to our ancient institutions, our historic institutions of the United Kingdom. And this is something that we've always had. It's part of the democratic process. Your peers, basically, in the constituency say, yes, I nominate you to stand, meaning I'll give you a chance, which is what democracy is all about. I remember the previous party that I was involved with, I was standing in the London Assembly election, and same process, you have to go and get signatures, and one of my colleagues needed signatures as well. And at the time, you have to go around all of the London boroughs, right? And some of the London boroughs are not particularly friendly to the likes of us ultra-nationalists. Although at the time, I suppose my message had been slightly sanitised, but still, they weren't happy. And some of them were like, go away, like really F off, all of that. And I said, look, this is democracy. I'm not asking you to vote for me. I'm asking you to nominate me. It's a different process. But it's something that we've got. It's something that we have in this country for a reason. It's part of our democratic system. And so we should respect that. And anyway, it's been lovely, but I digress somewhat. So I told you, didn't I? The government are going to call this election. They're going to call the whip, and then the election's going to be, the date's going to be set. It was set for the 23rd of June, right? All systems go. And I remember saying, I bet my bottom dollar they are going to say the papers need to be in very quickly. Well, just think about this for a minute. On the Wednesday, they confirmed the date, and I confirmed it with you lovely people. The deadline for getting the papers in was a week, less than that. And this is how, again, I don't even think this should be allowed, right? This is how the establishment, the corrupt establishment, I've got no problem calling a spade, the corrupt establishment try and scupper the process. They don't respect democracy. They don't respect the traditions. They don't respect any of us. They try and scupper people from standing by putting these really quick deadlines. Because, of course, well, imagine if you were on holiday or on business away and you wanted to stand. You've got to get back, you've got to get your nomination signatures, you've got to get the paperwork all filled in. There's loads of it, trust me, Merv knows. You've got to get it witnessed, then you've got to take it into the council offices, you've got to take it to the electoral office, the City Hall, and they have to go through all of it and check that the people that have nominated you are on the register. So you have to have the register already. This is the process that this is what's been going on this week. And obviously you're meeting people, you're talking to people, and you're you know, it's lovely, it's great. And you have to do that. You pay your deposit. You have to put the deposit down, and then they accept. They either accept or decline. They either say, right, this is inaccurate, or someone's not on the roll, or whatever. And so it's a process that really it needs a bit of attention. And as Charles just rightly said, they do this deliberately. I am certain they do this deliberately, because fancy that. Realistically, a lot of people will only have this weekend to go out and do that, and then book the appointment and lodge it. Otherwise, they've missed the boat. And again, like, it's just knits in nicely to the narrative of our campaign, which is that this establishment is just riddled with corrupt, horrible career politicians, self-serving, corrupt individuals. I've said it before, and Paul Telford said this, and it's really resonated, and I keep thinking, they are a satanic cult. That's how I see them. They are just a cult. So anyway, I did say on Wednesday, I bet they're going to call this soon, and it's going to be a mad rush. And lo and behold, I received an email from the electoral office on, I want to say yesterday, or even late after my show. After I spoke to you guys on Wednesday, I received an email from the electoral office saying, this is the deadline to get your papers done. So it was all systems go. So we've got a team that we're working with, right? And it's a growing team. So if you want to become a part of that team, you're very much welcome, because we want activists on the ground. But we made the decision, let's just go and do this. So I've been in Wakefield. I've met lots of constituents, lovely, lovely people, really amazing people. Got all the nomination signatures, took the paperwork to the City Hall, met with the electoral office there. They went through all of it. We paid the deposit, the £500 deposit, which is the first proper outlay for the campaign. So thank you very much, all those of you who have chipped in and are chipping in. Thank you. We are standing in this election. We are standing in the Wakefield by-election. What have I got here? I think I've got a picture. Have I got a picture? I don't even know what I've got. There we go. Oh, there's moi. Outside the City Hall in Wakefield. Lovely people, actually. I always find whenever we lodge the nomination papers, it's really reassuring. They're always really lovely. You don't get, I mean, like, look, I'm not just going to slam everyone who works in government bodies, but generally, you're not necessarily well received. But I have to say, every time I've stood in a by-election and gone and lodged papers, the people have been really, really lovely. So there I am outside the hall, and we took the papers in, and it was all good to go. So that's us now, people. No going back. We are committed. We've got less than 5 weeks, and we're going to do this. Now, let me just see. Some more people have come in, so let me just say hello as I do. Yes, Margaret says, I donated £200 earlier. That's what I mean. Thank you very much, Margaret. God bless you. I know you have pledged to do that. That's very kind of you. It's going to help, really help with what I'm about to say. So God bless you, Margaret. Thank you very much. And thank you everyone else who's chipped into the fund. I know Jerry said he was chipping in earlier. And I know that Merv and look, lots of you in the chat have. So thank you so much. If anybody wants to, if anybody hasn't so far, or they want to chip, chuck a couple of quid in, there's a link that didn't work. I don't know why my links don't work. My links don't work, and I don't have any moderators. I don't know what's going on. And my mouse doesn't work now either. It's been one of those days. I'm actually quite exhausted. I think that you can probably see that on my face. I'm quite exhausted. Anyway, there you go. There's the link. Thank you very much, Margaret. God bless you, my dear. It's very generous. We appreciate that. Who else have we got in? Kyle has joined. Good evening, Kyle. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, Kyle says expect no resignation when that gets published. Sue Gray report out next week. Yeah, DJ something to talk about. We're gonna actually. I'll talk to you about that in a minute because it's outrageous. So, right, we're standing. We are standing. Standing. Thank you, Marty. I just saw your comment. That's lovely. I don't feel that way at the moment, but thank you. It's very kind of you. God bless you. Right, that's us, people. We're committed. We're doing this. Now, few updates. You remember I spoke to you before and I said this is a big constituency. This is a big area. I don't know if you recall, but the Southend West by-election, I happen to have the leaflet on my desk. Now let me see. Let me get the figures right. I know Margaret, Angela's chipped in literally. Angela's been so generous. Angela chipped in some money and then just sent another payment like almost immediately afterwards and sent over £300. How lovely is that? So grateful, Angela. We all are. We're so grateful for your support. You're a lovely person and very generous. And look, not everybody can. Everybody can do something, but not everyone can do everything, right? So there are people that are out on the streets doing activism and stuff. And I understand your situation, Angela, and I know that your way of supporting is to donate. And we appreciate that because without you, we couldn't do this, right? So thank you so much. God bless you, my dear. Danny's just joined. Good evening to you, Danny. I need to talk to you, Danny, but I'll do that privately, but I need to talk to you. Anyway, these were our leaflets for Southend West. Now, you may recall, if I remember rightly, this constituency was 45,000 people. We had 45,000 of our leaflets go through the doors, and that was the campaign where they all spoiled the ballot, and it made all the headlines. It was all a big hoo-ha, and it was great fun. Excellent. Really, really good. Really rattled the establishment. And I said to you the other day that this is a big constituency, right? There's a lot of people. Well, I have the total. There are 73,000. Yeah, 73,000. We received the register, so you have to request a copy of the register, and then you go and when you get your nomination papers. Good evening to you, Danny B. Danny's just tuned in as well. Yeah, you register, you get your papers, you get the register, you have to cross-reference who's in the constituency, so I'm able to see who's on there. 73,000. That's a lot of people. So the next step is to get the leaflets put together. Now, they're already in the making. As you know, we've been talking about our campaign, and because we always approach our campaigns very differently from everybody else, of course, right? Because we're the revolutionary party. We're not the parties that go along spouting nonsense, claiming that we're going to do this, we're going to achieve the unachievable. We don't just put out sound bites and lies like the Labour Party. We don't just assume the win like the Tories. We always do hard hitting campaigns, and I want this to be our hardest hitting yet because of the nature of it. Because for those of you who aren't aware, let me just remind you, the reason this seat has become available is because the MP, the Wakefield MP, who has now resigned and therefore triggered the by-election, has been convicted of molesting a child. One of so many people in positions of power, from councillors to members of parliament, to judges, to lords. We had Lord Ahmed of Rotherham. He's in jail now for paedophilia. This is a pandemic in itself. We have seen how many people are under investigation for sexual assaults and sexual misconduct. Parliament is just some degenerate hellhole. It's like Sodom and Gomorrah. It really is. And aside from that, like I think it was DJ Samuel that said a moment ago about the Sue Gray report being released next week. It's allegedly going to be released in its entirety. I'll believe that when I see it. But all of that aside, right? So we're going to see the Sue Gray report. Well, certainly there are going to be some redactions, aren't there? Are they actually going to lie to us and say that you're going to get an unredacted report? That's not true, is it? That can't be true because the police have issued, get this, 122 fines. Just think about that for a minute. 122 fines have been issued for all of the lockdown parties in Parliament, right? And we know that Boris Johnson was one of the recipients. We know that Rishi Sunak was one of the recipients. Neither of them resigned. Neither of them really offered a heartfelt apology. Not that it would have made a blind bit of difference anyway, because like I said on this leaflet, and I meant it, you know, they party while we suffered. It's not about whether you broke the rules. I broke the rules. I broke the rules every day. I wasn't sitting in my house with a mask on, 3 masks on, hiding under the bed just in case I catch the cold. I wasn't doing that. You're crazy. I lived my life. I carried on. I worked hard and I tried to reassure people. We set up the British Freedom Party in the lockdown, right, in the COVID period. So I didn't abide by the rules. But guess what? I didn't set the rules. There's the point. It's not about whether, well, they only had a bit of cake. It doesn't matter. They were the ones that implemented the draconian rules that we had to live under. They were the ones that meant, and this is what we had on our last leaflet, they were the ones, while they were partying, right, families were torn apart. 37,816 illegal invaders clambered up our shores, right? And we're already over 8,000 this year now. The UK terror threat was at severe. Terrorist attack, severe. And people were left to die alone. And this is why we ran this campaign, and that's why it was so successful. Oh, it's 126. I beg your pardon. DJ Samuel has corrected me. 126! Last time I looked, it was 122. At 126. I was talking to one of the constituents in Wakefield. Really lovely guy. Really, I have met some wonderful people, and I'm really looking forward to you guys joining me campaigning in Wakefield. I cannot tell you these people are amazing. Just lovely. Salt of the earth Brits. I have met some lovely, lovely people. In fact, I haven't met anyone that I didn't like. Just lovely people. This really nice guy, I was having a chat with him, and he hit the nail on the head. He said, can you imagine if that was just like a private company? Imagine if that was just a company. Say like British Gas or, I don't know, Foxton's estate agents. Let's just say it was like just a normal private company. And 126 of their employees were fined by the police for breaching their company would have been shut down. That's what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with huge swathes, vast swathes, and that's just the ones that we could prove. Those are just the ones that we were able to nab, right? How many other people were at it, but there just wasn't enough evidence? So to suggest that the Sue Gray report is going to be released next week and it's going to be full and final, full disclosure, my back foot, full disclosure. Absolutely not. The Met Police have already said they're not releasing the names of the people that have been fined. They're not releasing their names. Why? They're public servants. These are elected officials and people that work on their behalf. They work for us. They work for the people of this country. Why aren't you giving us their names? You were happy enough giving the names of the people in the local salon or a gym down the road, or, you know, the people that had to pay £10,000 in fines because they were just opening their business to provide a service to feed their family and not starve to death. That's what we're dealing with here. It's absolutely outrageous. Outrageous. And the people in Wakefield get it. They are sick to death of the old gang parties. That's what we call them, the old gang parties. Tories, Labour, even the likes of the Lib Dems, the Greens. I mean, they're all crackpots, but they're all scoffing out of the same trough. These people are completely corrupt, completely self-serving, and the wonderful news is the really wonderful people of Wakefield, they get it, and they want a change, and they want an alternative, and they want a really hard-hitting alternative message, and they're going to get that from us. So, when I got the register, and saw 73,000, I thought, okay. My, not fears, but my suspicions were confirmed. This is indeed a big constituency. And, of course, we got another image here. As you know, the vote is on the 23rd of June. So, as I say, we have got just shy of 5 weeks. I think, actually, it was 5 weeks yesterday. That would have been the total. That's the time that we've got to get this done. Now, that sounds like a lot. That sounds like a lot, right? 5 weeks. It's going to go like that. We need to get ready. We have been working on the leaflets. We've got leaflets that are going out through the Royal Mail Drop. So the next thing we need to do is going to tell you the process, because I want to just share. I like not just transparency, because obviously some details you don't want to be bored with, but I like to keep you updated as to what's going on in the campaign, because this is our campaign. It's not my campaign. It's our campaign. So the next step is we're going to contact, you have to get these through the electoral office and the Royal Mail with a draft of our proposed leaflet for the Royal Mail Drop. Now, remember I told you every single home in the constituency gets a leaflet. This is a lot of leaflets. I mean, that's not double, but it's a significant amount more than we did in, say, Southend West. This is a lot of people. But on the flip side, that is excellent. The fact that it's a lot of people is an excellent problem to have, because the more people, this is a mandatory drop, and that means that's why we stand in these elections. We understand the political situation in this country. We understand that demographics have screwed up this country. We understand that mass immigration, the decline in the birth rate of our people, all of that combined, we understand. We get all of it. We're not pie in the sky loonies that try and trick people into believing that we're going to take power and revive the country through a nationalist government. Forget about it. We need a revolution. And in times when a revolution is needed, we need revolutionary acts. And that's what we specialise in. And so we're going to lodge our draft, when it's not quite ready yet, of our leaflet with the Royal Mail and the Electoral Office. And we need their approval. Now, as you may remember, the last few leaflets, I've got another one here actually. This was the Batley, one of the Batley ones. There's another one that kicked up a big stink about. The other one had a picture of me with a cross outside a church, a beautiful church in Batley. And do you recall that the Bishop of Leeds came out and said, we reject this woman. We reject her. Listen, join the club. I was already rejected. I was denounced. Do you remember I did a live show? I think one of you asked, actually. I don't know whether it was Merv. Somebody said, Jayda, can you do a show about all of the different denominations, Christian denominations that denounce you? Now, I'm not suggesting that you were calling me a liar, but I think actually people thought I might have been a bit tongue-in-cheek. No, this actually happened, right? Every denomination, major denomination in the United Kingdom, Christian denomination, Christian church, came out and signed a letter, made statements saying why I was denounced and they rejected me. Oh, some of them were brilliant. Do you remember my favourite one? Who remembers my favourite one? I would say you win a prize, but I've got no prizes for you to win. But my favourite one, if anyone can name me, my favourite denomination of a so-called Christian church that denounced me out of all of them. Carl's in. Good evening. Don't worry, mate. It's fine. And Elon as well. Good evening to you. Anyway, that's slightly sidetracked, but let's see if anyone can remember. But the bishop came out and went big hoo-ha. We reject this woman. She's a racist and a xenophobe and Islamophobe and a homophobe and a this, that and everything you can imagine. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. Call me what you like. I'm still going to crack on with the campaign, and that was a great campaign as well. So we always have obstacles and hurdles to jump over when it comes to getting these leaflets approved. And so we want to get this really nailed early on. We must take full advantage. I know it's a big constituency. That's it. Danny knows, the lesbian vicar. Yes. The denomination that was my favourite letter, the denomination that denounced me and said that we reject her from our church, was the Church of Lesbians and Gays. Have you ever heard something so blasphemous in all your life? The Church of Lesbians and Gays wrote a letter, made a statement, and the lesbian vicar, as Danny said, quite rightly, Danny, you remembered about, you're paying attention, and I appreciate that. She wrote a letter saying, this woman does not speak for me. I just want to have it on record that she is being 100% truthful. I do not speak for lesbian vicars. Never have, never will. And as Charles just said, there is no such thing. Absolutely. I don't speak for unicorns either. Funny that. So there you go. But we cause the stink, and we always do, and we like that. That's what we're doing. We're trying. There's a serious purpose to this. As much as we have fun upsetting people, we have fun upsetting the establishment. The message and the purpose of all of this is very serious. This is about the continuation of our people. This is about forming communities and showing people the reality. Reality isn't always a nice prospect to face. It's not always nice. I've spoken about demographics on this show, and I'm sure some of you have come away and thought, blimey, like I need a stiff drink or a lie in a dark room. You know, it's not fun to hear the decline of our people. It's not fun to hear that. But if we aren't told, if we sugarcoat the issue, if we say, oh, we're going to step in and save the day, never mind the fact that this country's on track to become an Islamic caliphate, never mind that. If we were to lie and just say to people, don't worry, in 20 years we'll have power, we'll be in power, we'll have hold of this country, we'll get it sorted, that would be dishonest. That would be completely dishonest. It would be outrageous. There are parties out there that do that. Don't trust them as far as you can throw them. We're very grounded and very upfront about our message, and we need revolutionary acts. And so our literature is going to be very hard-hitting. Now, like last time, what we would like to do is get a full leaflet drop throughout the entire constituency. Every single home in the constituency must, by law, be sent a copy of our leaflet. Right? Them's are the rules, people. And we can rely on that, on those rules. So we have to create a leaflet that gets through the electoral office and the Royal Mail. They have to be able to sign it off and go, that's okay. It's not too crazy. We would also like to get several thousand, depending on how much we can do. The sky's the limit. It depends on how many people are out on the streets with us. We've already got a good team growing. We want to get some more leaflets that we can put through the doors that will resemble this. These are a bit more elaborate. The other ones are one sheet, like the Batley one. That's the one that goes through the door. These are a bit more elaborate. Gives us space. Tell you why I'd like all this space. All this space is going to be used to point out how many paedophiles and perverts are in Parliament and in positions of authority after having been duly elected by their peers, by the good people of this nation, who don't elect them for them to go on and rape, molest, grope, groom children. That is not what the people of this country want. These people do not represent us. They are abusing their positions. So all this lovely space is going to be used for that. So we've got two sets of leaflets there, to be clear. The main Royal Mail drop, which is going to be huge. 73,000 people on that register. Huge. And then our door-to-door campaigning, which is going to be excellent fun. And I know this because, as I say, I've been out and about in Wakefield with wonderful people, and they get it. They get it. And I'm just so excited to go up there with more of you. So, here we go, people. Let's get this done. Let me pull the image back up. There you go. Just a reminder, 5 weeks from now, less than 5 weeks from now, is the date that people in Wakefield will be casting their vote. And our campaign, I really hope, is going to take off. I will show you the leaflet as soon as it's available. As soon as it's available, as soon as it's done and dusted, I will show you it. When it's approved, I will show you it. And we can get cracking. If you're watching this show and you haven't already chipped into the Donation Fighting Fund and you'd like to do so, our election campaign fund, if you'd like to do so, there is the link. I've put it in the chat over on Purged, and it hasn't worked. Because why would it? It's one of those days. It is Friday today, I believe. Even in and amongst all the madness, I believe it is Friday, which is a bloody good job. Because I've had a week. My brain is frazzled. I can now hear my voice coming out of another screen. Let me get rid of that. My brain is frazzled. Thank goodness it's Friday. I might even need a glass of wine at some point this weekend. But there we go. Yeah, Charles says, thankfully I can't see a mosque in that skyline. I was, really pleasantly surprised at the demographics of the people that we were going out and speaking with. It was just, and the people, I don't want to just, listen, I've got no reason. They're not watching, so there's no reason for me to, really drive this home. But honestly, when you do campaigning, you guys will know, you've been out, I'm sure, doing activism and, campaigning with me before. Sometimes you can go out and the response isn't great. Other times you can go out and the response is just like seeing old friends or relatives that you haven't seen for years, and that's what this was like. Just salt of the earth people. And so I really can't wait for them to get our leaflet. I really can't. And everyone I was speaking to, our message was resonating with them. So let's do this. Let's get this done, people. Let's get cracking. Let's shake a leg. Let's make this the biggest campaign that we've done so far. I'm going to be pulling some tricks out of the bag. I want to see how they work. We've done this so far and we've been successful. So I hope you've got faith in me. I'm quietly confident, but we'll see what happens. But in any event, we've got to get going. We've got to get the leaflets approved. I will show them to you as soon as they're available. And then I would like us out on those streets getting them done. So the link is there. If you haven't chipped in already and you want to, there's the link to chip into our election campaign fund. If you have chipped in and maybe you know someone, right? Like I said this before, bear in mind, our network of like British nationalists, patriots, however you want to describe yourself, ultra nationalists, I find that our network, we tend to stay together. So we tend to mix in good company, our own like-minded company. So I'm guessing that at least some of you, if not all of you who are watching this, will have maybe a WhatsApp group with fellow nationalists. We'll have maybe an email list with fellow nationalists. I know that lots of you have got email lists because you send stuff to me. I know that lots of you are in WhatsApp groups because I'm in them. So if you've got other WhatsApp groups, if you've got a Telegram page, any social media, you know, you can share this link on social media, on all of the ones that I'm banned on, Facebook, Twitter, share it on your Gab, share it on your Getter, share it on all of them, all of the platforms. Get it out and say to people, we're the British Freedom Party, Jayda Fransen standing in Wakefield, we're going to do a really hard-hitting campaign, here's the link, would you be so kind as to chuck a few quid in the pot for us to help us with our campaign? That's as much as we can do, is ask people for their help. If people want to support us, if people want to get behind us, they've done it before, I'm confident that we're going to get support. I know that we had support when I was up there, certainly. Everyone up there, everyone I spoke to up there, and I can tell when people are being like a bit disingenuous, they're kind of trying to get you away or get away from you. These were people that genuinely wanted to engage in conversation. I had to leave. I had to say, listen, I'm on a deadline. I've got to get these papers lodged, but it was wonderful speaking to you. You know, we spent a lot of time talking to people and our message really resonates with them. Our message is very much anti-establishment. This establishment is corrupt. It needs to be completely overhauled. These people drain the swamp, as Donald Trump said. That's what we need to do. Clear them out and start again. We need a revolutionary act to do that. And so I'm really hopeful that our message will resonate, but we have to get it out there. So, like I say, if you've got these friends on these networks, you've got your WhatsApp groups, whatever, just drop the link in. There's also another link that I sent to you guys a while ago saying why I'm standing. And it's a bit of a more personal message that I've written up. I'll probably send that to you again soon and then you can share that. But share the campaign link, the election fund link. See if someone might want to chuck a few quid in, right? So same, some people will say, oh, I won't buy a Costa coffee today. I'll stick 3 or 4 quid in the pot. Excellent. What more can we ask? These are people getting behind our movement. And you never know when they see... As people see this and the success, like the success we had in Southend West, we'll get more members, we'll get more supporters, we'll grow as a party, we'll get more activists, we'll get more newspaper distributors, and we'll just grow and grow and grow. And that's as simple as this is. This is how it works. This is real feet on the streets activism, grassroots activism and community building, and that's what the British Freedom Party is here for. So I will leave that little piece of homework with you over the weekend. Drop the link here and there, send it to people, encourage them. Just say to them, oh, did I see on Instagram you got yourself a really nice pair of new trainers? They're really nice. Here's a link to chuck a few quid in for our campaign. Always works. Anyway, I'm only joking, but you know what to do. Right, everybody, I'm going to go. My shoulders are so knotted just from running around like a headless chicken and just not taking a moment to breathe that I can't move. This shoulder here, I'm struggling to move my neck. I'm worried that I'm going to pull something. So I'm going to go. I'm going to love you all and leave you. Everybody have a really nice weekend. Thank you again to all of you for making this, as Merv said, that mischievous smile that's on my face outside the Wakefield City Hall. Thank you very much to all of you who are behind me on that, because you did that. You're the ones that got me to there, so that I could lodge those papers so that we can do this. So thank you. I really, really am so grateful for that, and I can't wait for this campaign. Well, we're in it now. As of right this moment, we are in this campaign. We're doing this, so let's make it big. We don't go small. The BFP, we don't do small things. We don't do small endeavours. We get things done, and we do big. We go big, right? Go hard or go home, as they say. Right, Carl's going to watch from the start. God bless you, Carl. I'm going to go and maybe put some sort of heat rub on my shoulders before my neck seizes up. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. God willing, I will be back with you all on Monday at 7 p.m. So please do try and join me then. And until then, everybody stay safe and stay sane. I hope the weather picks up this weekend, and I hope everyone has a glorious one. And I will see you all on Monday. God bless.